Ready split clean through the kitchen smelled like roasted garlic and something burning, probably the bread I forgot in the oven. I didn't move to check it. David stood across from me, leaning against the marble island, swirling a glass of red wine like it was part of a performance. You're quiet, he said. I opened the drawer slowly, pulled out a spoon, stirred the sauce. Just tired. No. You're resentful. The spoon clinked against the pot. I kept stirring. He took a slow sip. We keep circling the same drain. You question everything I do. Challenge every decision. That's not partnership. That's resistance. I turned off the burner. The kitchen lights cast a warm glow, soft shadows against the backsplash. Ella's drawing, a stick figure family with a son, was stuck to the fridge behind him. You're not used to being questioned, I said. No. I'm used to being respected. Is that what this is? I asked. Respect. He set his glass down harder than necessary. You need to decide what you want, Lena. Because I'm done walking on eggshells around your moods. Moods? You don't look at me the same. You don't touch me. Everything's a negotiation. I need a wife who's with me. Not monitoring me. I turned, leaned against the counter, arms folded. You mean obedient? His jaw twitched. I mean cooperative. No, I said. You meant obedient. He picked up the glass again. Call it what you want. But I'm saying it plain now, either get on board with the life I'm building, or get out of the way. I looked at the clock. 6:41, the kids would be out of the bath by now. I heard soft thumps from upstairs, Ella running across the hallway carpet. Obey or leave? I asked, his eyes held mine. Yes. I walked to the sink, rinsed the spoon. You rehearsed this? I've been thinking about it for a long time. And this is how you deliver it? It's not supposed to be poetic. It's real. I dried my hands. And what happens if I don't agree to those terms? You make things harder. For everyone. Including the kids. There it was. A flick of the blade under the rib. You're threatening me with the kids? He exhaled, frustrated. No. I'm saying we need alignment, for their sake. I crossed the room, picked up his glass, set it down away from his hand. Say it exactly, David. Don't blur it with jargon. Say what you want me to do. He hesitated. Then, I want you to stop questioning my decisions. I want peace in this house. I want authority to mean something again. You want control. I want stability. For you. For all of us. I nodded. Walked past him. Where are you going? To get the bread, I said. It was blackened on the edges, hardening fast. I tossed it in the sink. Lena, I turned. No more. You spoke. I heard you. Is that all you're going to say? I met his gaze calmly. For now. Footsteps on the stairs. Ella's voice calling, Mom? In the kitchen, baby. She appeared in the doorway, towel wrapped around her. Ben patted behind her, cheeks flushed. I'm hungry, she said. David stepped back, letting them in. Let's eat, I said. Dinner's ready. He watched me plate the food. His mouth opened, then closed. He didn't speak again. I served everyone, sat at the table. My hands were steady. Ella swung her feet beneath her chair. Daddy, why are you quiet? David forced a smile. Just thinking. About work? He glanced at me. Something like that. I buttered her bread. Eat while it's warm, sweetie. The kids chattered about school and bath bubbles. David drank his wine in silence and I sat there, nodding, chewing, smiling when I needed to, but inside, something had a. The morning after, I ironed Ben's tiny khakis and matched Ella's socks like I always did, white with the pink edges she liked. The kitchen was quiet, except for the low hum of the fridge and the occasional sound of toast popping up. David came down just as I zipped Ella's lunchbox. You're up early. I never stopped. He rubbed the back of his neck. Didn't hear you come to bed. I didn't. He glanced at the counter. You made coffee? For me. Right. He opened the cupboard, pulled out a mug. Look, about last night, toast or cereal? I asked Ella. Toast, she said, swinging her legs under the table. Ben crawled onto the bench beside her. Can I have honey on mine? Yes, baby. David set the mug down. We should talk. We did. No, Lena, don't do this. I'm not doing anything. You made a decision. I'm adjusting. He lowered his voice. I didn't mean to sound harsh. You meant to sound clear. He exhaled, watching me spread honey across warm slices of bread. Can we talk later? I handed Ben his plate. We'll see. At preschool drop-off, I kissed Ben's forehead and walked Ella to her classroom door. Her hand tightened. Around mine. You're quiet, she said. I crouched to eye level. Do you feel safe? She nodded. Yeah. Good. That's my job. She touched my cheek with her small fingers. Are you sad? No, I smiled. Just thinking. The drive home was automatic. I took the long way. Past the same gas station, same overgrown lot where the church used to be. At a red light, I remembered a fight, 3 years ago, David slamming his hand on the steering wheel. Don't challenge me in front of people, Lena. You make me look weak. I had said nothing. Just stared ahead, knuckles white on my lap. He'd added, say something. And I had. You're not weak because I speak. You're weak because you're afraid of it. I pulled into the driveway. Sat for a full minute before turning off the engine. The laundry was waiting, baskets overflowing with tiny clothes and socks that never stayed matched. I sorted, folded, stacked. When I opened David's drawer, the scent of his cologne rose like smoke. Sharp. Uninvited. I found the cufflink I'd given him for our anniversary under a pile of mismatched socks. He'd never worn them. At 4:30. The door creaked open. I'm home, he called. I stayed seated at the table, laptop open, typing nothing. David walked in, loosened his tie. Kids aren't back yet? They're with my mother. She offered. You didn't tell me. You didn't ask. He stood there a moment, then dropped into the chair across from me. You're being cold. No, I met his eyes. I'm being quiet. That's worse. I tilted my head. Because you can't steer it? He leaned forward. What exactly are you doing? Thinking. Observing. Of what? You. He laughed, short and sharp. What is this? An investigation? No, I closed the laptop. It's inventory. Inventory of what, Lena? Of everything I've tolerated. He stood. This is ridiculous. You told me to obey or leave. I'm considering both options. He stared at me, hands on his hips. I'm not the villain here. Then why are you acting like one? He looked away. I've done everything for this family. You did everything for your image of it. And you? You're just the victim. No, I said, rising. I'm just no longer the asset you assumed wouldn't notice depreciation. He left the room. Slammed a door somewhere upstairs. I walked to the sink. The faucet dripped once. I didn't fix it. The bedroom was dark except for the soft blue glow from my screen. David's breathing was heavy beside me, rhythmic, careless. He always slept like he had nothing to hide. I clicked into the first tab. His email opened without resistance. Same. Password as always, Heracles 1981. The irony wasn't lost on me. Please don't touch anything important, he'd once said, handing me the iPad during a flight. It's easier if I handle our accounts. Handle. That word again, the bank login auto-filled. I waited. A loading wheel spun. Then, access $64,912 in checking. $137,200 in savings. Not joint. His name only. A low chuckle escaped me. What? David muttered beside me, nothing, I whispered. He shifted, snored again. I opened the transfer history. 10 days ago, $3,000 to a consulting fund. The memo field was blank. I clicked through tabs like I was playing piano. Business account. Credit lines. Investments. All categorized, filtered, hidden. Point 1 file was named ABR_temp_Q2. I opened it, property purchase. Out of state. No cosigner. I stared at the document, not clever enough. I copied the PDF, sent it to myself, the sound of him rolling over. I froze. Lena? I didn't blink. Go back to sleep. He mumbled something, pulled the blanket higher. I opened his private drive. A folder named Legacy. Password required. I tried, Heracles 1981. No Eleben 1981. No. Obey or leave. Click.my. Stomach turned, inside, legal documents. Trusts. Beneficiaries. All carefully arranged. All without my name. I scrolled through each file, quiet as breath. A spreadsheet titled Exit Strategy. I clicked, line 47, contingency, if Lena resists, trigger clause 12b. Clause 12b. I didn't know what it meant. But I knew what. It felt like. Morning light pushed through the blinds. David stretched, yawned. You're up early. I never went to sleep. He sat up, rubbed his eyes. Everything okay? I learned some things. He froze. What kind of things? About. Clause 12b. He stood too fast. You were in my drive? You left the door wide open. That's private. No, David. That's secret. And secrets have cost. He stepped closer. You misunderstood. I saw the transfers. The house. The trust. His jaw clenched. You have no right. I had every right. As your wife. As their mother. He scoffed. You think this gives you leverage? I smiled faintly. I already had leverage. Now I have receipts. He shook his head. You're making this hostile. You made it strategic. You went behind my back, you built an escape hatch under mine. He pointed at me. That account's protected. You touch anything, you'll what? I stepped into him. Invoke Clause 12b? He said nothing. I nodded. Thought so. I walked out of the room. The light followed me. The kettle clicked off. I didn't pour the tea. Instead, I picked up the phone and dialed my mother. Angela, she answered, always her name first. It's me. A pause. Then, something happened. Yes. Is it the children? They're fine. She exhaled. David? He gave me an ultimatum. Obey or leave. A longer pause. And what are you thinking? That I've obeyed too long. Her voice softened. Do you need to come here? Not yet. I need you to keep the kids tomorrow after school. Of course. Don't mention anything to them. Not yet. I understand. I'm going to talk to someone. Who? A lawyer. She hesitated. Lena, be careful. I know what he is. She lowered her voice. He's calculated. That charm, it's camouflage. I see him clearly now. I'm here, she said. Whatever you need. I hung up. Marcia Levine's office smelled like eucalyptus and order. Her voice was crisp, her suit sharper than anything I'd worn in years. I've seen 100 Davids, she said, glancing at the papers I brought. But I have to say, you're ahead of the curve. I need to protect myself. My kids. You said he moved funds without your consent? Yes. Do you have evidence? I do now. Passwords? He used the same one for everything. I didn't guess, I remembered. Marcia smiled without humor. That's admissible. She flipped through a document. You said there's a trust? Yes. I'm excluded. She looked up. Completely? Completely. And he's preparing to move assets out of state. Have you moved any money? Not yet. Don't touch his accounts until we've filed. But open one of your own. Immediately. I nodded. Children? I want full custody. He won't fight me on that. Not publicly. Marcia tapped her pen. We'll request a financial injunction. If he pushes back, we expose the trust. The emails. The transfer. Logs. I met her eyes. And Clause 12b? She blinked. Explain. It was in a file labeled Exit Strategy. It mentioned me resisting. She jotted a note. If there's language that implies coercion, I'll find it. And I'll use it. I straightened. Good. She slid a card across the table. Bank. Therapist. Realtor. Keep everything off shared devices. Thank you. You're precise. I like that. I stood. I don't have the luxury of panic. She watched me calmly. He'll underestimate you. Let him. I parked outside the gym where Claire taught yoga on Saturdays. She stepped out 15 minutes late, hair pulled back, black leggings. Wary eyes. Lena, she said. Claire. Thank you for meeting me. She folded her arms. You said it was important. It is. We walked to the bench under the jacaranda. I handed her a photo. David, the kids, me. She didn't look at it. I remember that smile, she said. Not yours. His. You were married to him for 5 years. 5 years and 4 warnings. Why didn't you tell me? You wouldn't have listened. I didn't either. I nodded. I found a folder in his drive. She glanced at me. He still keeps files? Meticulous ones. Plans for separation. Without my knowledge. She looked away. Sounds familiar. Did he ever hide money? Always. 3 accounts. 2 in my name I never saw. He's done it again. Claire's voice tightened. He'll make you feel like you're overreacting. That's his signature move. I'm past that. She studied me. Good. I needed to hear it from someone who wasn't guessing. She reached into her bag, pulled out a manila envelope. Court records. My divorce. You'll see the pattern. I took it. Did you ever love him? I asked. I did, she said. But I mistook calculation for charm. I held her gaze. I won't make that mistake again. She rose. Neither did I. Eventually. The sun was low when I walked back to my car. The envelope in my hand was warm. My decisions were no longer theoretical. The sound of the shredder was steady, methodical. I fed at the grocery lists, the notes from Ella's teacher, the Valentine card David had left half-signed. I kept the rest. By noon, I had 3 folders, legal, financial, personal. Exit. I dialed Marcia. You ready? She asked. Yes. Tell me what you've done so far. Copies of every account. Passwords saved offline. Photos of statements. Opened a new checking account under my maiden name. She paused. Did he notice? No. He's in meetings all week. He doesn't watch me anymore. He watches his mirror. Good. Get cash, enough to move quickly if you need to. I already did. From my design freelance, he never tracked that. You're ahead of most women I see. I can't afford fear. She spoke carefully. Once you file, there's a reaction window. He'll bluster. Maybe threaten. I'm not worried about noise. Still, prep a safe place. Can your mother take you and the kids? She's already on alert. Bags are packed. Marcia's voice softened. Lena, this is the hard part. The waiting. I know. I'll file the paperwork Friday. Serve him Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Middle of the week. Court stable. Fewer disruptions. Emotionally, it lands harder midstream. I nodded, even though she couldn't see. Tuesday. Do not confront him beforehand. No slips. I'm not here for dramatics. I'm here for precision. Marcia smiled into the phone. I like your style. I moved through the house like a ghost with a clipboard. Took photos of the car's VIN, the safe in the closet, the drawer in David's desk labeled receipts. I typed the brand and model of every major item into a spreadsheet. He wouldn't expect me to know what depreciated assets were. I did. That night, he poured himself a scotch. You're quiet again. Long day. I had Henderson all over me, demanding Q2 projections before the deck's even built. I nodded. You'll manage. You always say that. Because it's always true. He tilted his head. What are you not saying? I'm tired of fighting. He relaxed. So am I. Maybe we just needed to clear the air last week. Maybe. He raised his glass. To fresh starts. I raised mine. To clarity. Saturday, I drove the kids to my mother's. Angela opened the door in an apron. You staying? She asked quietly, just dropping off. Sunday night return. She nodded. They'll be fine. I leaned down, kissed Ella's cheek. Be good for Grandma. Always, she grinned. Ben reached up for a second hug. Are you coming back with Daddy? Soon, I said. They disappeared inside. Angela closed the door with a whisper. Are you ready? Every detail. Back home, I printed out Marcia's calendar. Tuesday had a circle around it and read. David was in his office. He didn't look up when I walked past. That was his mistake. The pen moved smoothly across the page. My name. Again. Then once more. The notary smiled with practiced efficiency. That's it, she said. Funds will be transferred by end of day. How long before the freeze is noticed? I asked. 3 to 5 business days, the banker said. Depending on his bank's activity thresholds. Good. Would you like a printed receipt? No. Email only. She typed without looking up. Anything else today? I'd like the new card expedited. 2-day delivery. Signature required. Perfect. She turned the screen. Just verify this routing number. I scanned it. It's correct. Then we're done. I stood, buttoned my coat, picked up my bag like I'd just deposited. A check for groceries, thank you, I said. Of course, Mrs. Hale, Ms. Whitaker, I corrected. A beat. Then a nod. Ms. Whitaker. Good luck. I stepped out into the wind. 12 minutes. That was all it took. Not the arguments. Not the lawyers. Not the planning. Just 12 minutes, 3 signatures, and a calm tone. I walked past the cafe. Where David had proposed. He'd stuttered that day. Not out of nerves, out of impatience. The ring had been too tight. He cursed under his breath when it stuck on my finger. It's fine, I had said, smiling. It's perfect. He'd kissed me hard. The barista had clapped. And I had believed it meant forever, not finance. Not optics, forever. I passed the florist. He used to bring home roses every third Thursday. Always red. Always 12, you didn't have to, I'd say. Presentation matters, he'd reply. People notice effort. People, always people. I unlocked the car, placed the envelope on the passenger seat. Inside, confirmation of asset withdrawal, affidavit of marital entitlement, and a clause Marcia had called airtight enough to walk through. Half was mine. Half was his. But he'd blurred that line. I had straightened it. He called it 3:07. Hey, I answered. Need anything from the store? No, I was thinking steak tonight. Okay. He paused. You sound off. Just tired. You sure everything's okay? I looked at the rearview mirror. My own eyes looked back. Clear, everything's fine. All right. Be home by 6. He hung up. Not once did he ask where I was. Back home, I placed the envelope in the drawer beneath my birth certificates. I deleted browser history. Cleared downloads, then I made tea. Sat by the window, there was no shaking. No racing heart, only stillness. That's how I knew. I was done. The suitcase wheels hummed across the floor. Ella's stuffed bear poked out from the zipper. Ben dragged his blanket behind him, half asleep. Angela stood in the doorway, coat already on. Car's warm. I nodded. Let's go. Are we gonna see fireworks? Ella asked. Maybe, I said. Grandma's town does things differently. Ben yawned. Will Daddy meet us there? No, sweetheart. I crouched, zipped his coat. He's working this week. Angela opened the trunk. Put Ella's on top. She packed books like she's moving in. I smiled. She gets that from me. Inside, the house was still. David's cologne lingered upstairs. The bed was made. I'd changed the sheets. Not for him. For closure. I walked into the study and placed the envelope on the desk. No, dear David. Just David. 2 sentences. Facts only, the children are with me. Legal filings are underway. Do not contact me directly. No signature. Just the date. Angela tapped her key fob. Need help with anything else? No, you left it? Yes. We slid into the car. Ben was already dozing. Ella watched rain chase itself across the window. Angela drove. You're certain about no contact? He's had years of conversation. Silence will be louder. Halfway to her house, Ella whispered, I forgot Mr. Whiskers. You packed him yesterday, baby. Oh, right. Angela glanced at me. They're calmer than I expected. They feel safe. I carried Ben inside. Angela took Ella's hand upstairs. I laid him down. He curled into the pillow without a sound. Back in the hall, Ella tugged at my sleeve. Do we live here now? Just for a little while. Does Daddy know? He knows enough. She nodded, thinking. Then, okay. Downstairs, Angela. Poured tea. Do you want the guest room or the couch? Guest room. She passed me a cup. There's fresh towels. Extra blankets. I put your old journals in the drawer. I blinked. You kept those? I keep things that matter. I stared at the cup. Steam rose in soft swirls. Angela reached over. Touched my hand. You did the hard part. No, I said. That comes next. She didn't argue. At midnight, I stood by the window. The street was quiet. One porch light across the road blinked out. I reached for my phone. No calls. No messages. No missed attempts. He hadn't read the letter yet, but he would, and he would listen to it with nothing but silence. His first voicemail came at 6:14 a.m. Where the hell are you? Call me back. By 9:23, the tone shifted. You think this little disappearing act is going to work? It's kidnapping, Lena. You took my children. I forwarded the message to Marcia. Her response was one word, documented. By noon, he had emailed my mother, his sister, and 3 mutual friends. The subject line was, concern for the kids' safety. I forwarded that, 2.at 4:12 p.m, he called. I picked up, where? Are they? Safe. You don't get to just vanish. I didn't vanish. I filed. He hissed, this is a stunt. You'll regret it. No. You will. You broke into my files, I accessed marital property. You stole money, I retrieved my share. You're unstable. I have legal counsel. Receipts. A witness. Claire? His laugh was sharp. She's vindictive. She's credible. You're making a mistake. No. I made one staying as long as I did. He went quiet. Then, this won't end. How you think? I know exactly how it ends. I hung up. Marcia called 2 hours later. He's already tried to file an emergency motion for custody. I had it blocked. Did he use the word kidnapping? He did. The judge flagged it as retaliatory. Your affidavit and Claire's deposition beat him there. Good. Claire's statement is gold. She laid it out, financial coercion, the threats, the script. He always repeats his best material. I've also got the voicemail, the emails, and the trust documents. I'm submitting the full packet tomorrow. What's next? We push the restraining order through before week's end. Then we freeze any remaining joint funds. Do it. Marcia paused. You're calm. I planned for this part. Let me know if that shifts. It won't. Claire called that night. He emailed me, she said. Told me I was bitter. What did you say? Nothing. I just sent your lawyer the screenshots. Thank you. I told you, he doesn't think consequences apply to him. He's about to learn. Claire exhaled. He used to tell me I made him angry on purpose. Like his reactions were my invention. Same script. You okay? I'm fine. No, really. I'm not rattled. She was quiet for a beat. I wasn't either. Until court. Why? Hearing my own life read back to me. As evidence. I'm ready for that. You'll need someone in the room who knows it's true. You'll be there? I'll sit behind you. By morning, David's social accounts were silent. He'd wiped photos, locked profiles. Posted one vague update, life's messy. Trust carefully. I sent it to Marcia. She replied with a thumbs up emoji. At noon, he texted me, you've turned everyone against me. Is that what you wanted? I didn't respond. At 3:18, he texted again, I miss them. Tell them I love them. I showed Ella the message. She blinked. Are we going back to his house? No, she nodded. Okay. That was all. The reversal had begun, and I didn't even need to raise my voice. The courtroom smelled like dust and fabric softener. Judge Avery's bench sat high above us, clean and quiet. No robe flutter. No gavel slam. Just a stillness that made every breath feel audible. David sat across the aisle in a navy suit he hadn't worn since his promotion party. He didn't look at me. Marcia leaned in. Let him talk first. He always overplays the opening. The clerk called our names. Avery nodded once. Mr. Hale, you may begin. David stood, jaw tight. Your Honor, I'm not here to destroy anyone. I'm here because my wife disappeared with our children. She shut me out of my own accounts. She's weaponized the legal system. Marcia didn't move. Neither did I. She refuses to speak to me, won't return messages, and has poisoned our children against me. I've been cast as a villain, without cause, without due process. He turned slightly. She's cold, Your Honor. Unreachable. And she's teaching our children that distance is power. Avery looked at me. Ms. Whitaker? I stood. Your Honor, I did not disappear. I relocated for safety. I did not poison our children. I protected them. And I am not cold. Avery raised a brow. Do you have evidence to support the relocation? Marcia stood. We submitted all documentation last week, bank transfers, audio recordings, Mr. Hale's financial concealment, and the affidavit from his ex-wife. David scoffed. Claire has an axe to grind. We divorced 10 years ago. Marcia remained poised. Your Honor, the pattern speaks for itself. Avery turned to me again. Do you feel you were in danger? Yes. Not of bruises, but of erasure. David barked a laugh. That's poetic nonsense. Avery held up a hand. Mr. Hale. Control yourself. Marcia stepped forward. We're requesting full legal and physical custody, immediate asset protection, and a restraining order effective today. David shot to his feet. You're treating me like a criminal. I've provided for my family. She's turning this into a war. No, I said. You did that the day you told me to obey or leave. Avery looked at him. Did you say that? Yes, but not. Did you restrict her access to finances? I managed them. That's different. Did you create a separate trust excluding your wife? She was never supposed to find, that's enough. Avery's voice cut clean, the silence was immediate. Avery turned a page. You filed for emergency custody. Yet you had no knowledge of your children's whereabouts, no contact with their school, no evidence of mistreatment. David shifted. I didn't want to involve the kids in legal mess. You involved them the moment you vanished from responsibility. Marcia handed a folder to the clerk. Our full request, Judge. Avery reviewed it. Ms. Whitaker, do you intend to block reasonable visitation? I intend to ensure safety and structure, not vengeance. He nodded. I'm granting full temporary custody to Ms. Whitaker. Financial injunction is approved. Restraining order effective immediately. We'll revisit in 90 days. David exploded. You're just taking her word? That's it? Avery's voice dropped low. She brought facts. You brought volume. David turned to me. You're punishing me for being right. No, I said. I'm protecting myself for the first time. Avery stood. Court is adjourned. The gavel fell. I exhaled, and David was silent. The keys were cold in my hand. The front door stuck a little, just enough to make me push twice. Ella darted past me. Can I pick my room? You already did, remember? But I want to repick. Ben followed, dragging a box that weighed more than him. Mine has the big window. Ella twirled in the empty living room. Mom, there's light in here. There is. Angela set another box on the floor. That's the last of it. Thank you. I'll leave the car if you need it. We'll be fine. She looked at me. You sure? I nodded. This is ours now. She left without fuss. That's how we did goodbyes in our family, quiet, clean. The kids ran room to room, barefoot on unfinished floors. I opened windows. The breeze carried wood dust and something floral. Can I put my drawings on the wall? Ella called from down the hall. You can cover it in drawings. Ben appeared, mouth stained red. We found the juice box. I can see that. I opened a can of pale blue and dipped the roller. The smell of new paint was sharp but fresh. I knelt and traced the edge near the baseboard. My hand was steady. Ella peered in. That's pretty. You like it? She nodded. Can I help? You can do the corners. She dipped her brush carefully. By late afternoon, the room Was 2 walls blue and 1 pink. Mom, Ben said, what color is my room gonna be? You get to choose. Green. Like the dinosaur cup. Dinosaur green it is. Ella lay back on the floor, hands behind her head. It's quieter here. That's the best part, I said. She looked at me. Will Daddy come here? No, she thought about that. Okay. Ben yawned, curled into a patch of sunlight. That night, I made pasta and served it in mismatched bowls. We ate cross-legged on the floor. The oven timer was broken, the bathroom faucet dripped, but no one raised their voice. After bedtime, I stood in the hallway. The pink-blue door was open. Ella and Ben were asleep, tangled limbs and soft breath. I went to the closet, pulled out the last item I hadn't unpacked. A photo. The 4 of us at the beach. His arm around my waist. My eyes distant. I slid it into a drawer. Not to hide it. Just to move it out of the light. Morning came through bare windows. Mom, Ella whispered, tiptoeing into my room, can we have pancakes? We don't have a pan yet. We can pretend. That, we can do. She climbed into bed, curled against me. It smells better here. It's just different. It's better. Later, I hammered in a hook by the door. Not for coats. For keys, for now, for here. The door still stuck, but it was ours. The notebook was spiral-bound and scarred with grocery lists on the last 10 pages. I ignored those. I wrote in the margins, across the lines, around old ink. You're doing it again, Joan said, over coffee. That look. What look? The one you used to get when you rewrote emails 10 times but never sent them. I closed the notebook. I've just been sorting things. You've written 50 pages. That's not sorting. That's surviving. I didn't answer. She leaned in. Let me publish one. Joan, no name. Just a piece. Let it breathe. They're too personal. That's why they work. I stared at the cappuccino between us. What if he sees it? He won't. Not like this. She slid her phone across the table. Read it aloud. I skimmed the screen. You wrote this, she said. Now own it. The piece ran on a Saturday. No byline. No bio. Just a title, The Invisible Grip. Joan texted me 3 hours later, 5,000 views and climbing. Women are sharing it in droves. By Sunday night, her inbox was full. She forwarded the messages. I thought it was just me. I haven't told anyone this before. He made me feel crazy. This made me feel seen. I read each one, heart steady. There was no panic. Just a rising certainty. Joan called Monday. You need an email. They want to write to you. I'm not a therapist. No. But you're a mirror. I opened a new account under the pseudonym she gave me. Wit messages poured in. One woman wrote, my husband still tracks my car. I leave notebooks in my office drawer so I can say what I can't say aloud. Another, I read your piece 3 times. I thought I was broken. You made it sound like logic. They weren't looking for rescue. Just resonance. Joan and I met again the following week. You ready for the next one? She asked. I handed her a fresh draft. Title, How Control Wears a Smile. She grinned. You're building a voice. I'm not building. I'm reclaiming. She reached for my hand. It's sharp. It's calm. It's going to change people. I don't need to change people. She shook her head. That's why it's working. Ella watched me type at the kitchen table one night. What are you writing, Mom? A story. About us? No. About women. Are they in trouble? Some were. She nodded. And now they're okay? Some are starting to be. She tilted her head. Because of you? I smiled. Because they remembered themselves. That night, I opened another letter. I left him last week. I had no plan. But your story gave me courage. I read it twice. Then closed my laptop. I didn't need applause. I needed the quiet, and in it, my voice had returned. The DMV clerk tapped her nails against the desk. You're restoring your maiden name? Yes, I said. She glanced at the form. Whitaker. You sure? I'm sure. Okay then. Stamp. Staple. Congratulations, Ms. Whitaker. At the school pickup line, Ella climbed into the back seat, swinging her backpack onto the floor. Ben got yogurt in his hair again, she said. Ben followed, grinning. I did it on purpose. Did not, Ella muttered. Did too. Both of you, I said. Seatbelts first, truth later. Ella buckled. Why does the office say Whitaker now? I changed it. To what it was before, Daddy? Yes. She tilted her head. So, it's just yours? It always was. Ben kicked the seat. I want a name of my own too. Ella rolled her eyes. You have one. Can I pick a superhero name? He asked. We'll discuss it, I said. That night, I stood in front of the bathroom mirror. The certificate sat on the sink, crisp and official. I ran a hand through my hair and looked myself in the eye. Lena Whitaker. I said it aloud once. Then again. Ella's voice floated down the hall. Mom, can you help with the glitter glue? I'm coming. Joan called the next morning. I saw the byline. It felt right. It read right. I didn't want to hide anymore. You're not just writing now. You're speaking. I have something to say. She paused. Feels good, doesn't it? Yes. At the grocery store, I handed over my new card. The cashier scanned it, smiled. Lena Whitaker. That's a pretty name. Thank you. It suits you. In the backyard, Ella built a chalk city. Ben drove toy cars between pastel towers. Where's this one going? I asked. Ben pointed. To safety. Ella added, and clarity. I blinked. Where did you learn that word? You said it once. When? When you were talking to Grandma. You said, all I wanted was clarity. And safety, Ben added. And a cat. We don't have a cat, I said, yet. That evening, I tucked them into the bed we built together, frame, screws, even the wobbly left leg. Ella yawned. What's your favorite thing about our new house? I thought for a moment. That I can hear myself think here. And what does your thinking say? I kissed her forehead. That we're okay now. She smiled. I think so too. Ben whispered, can my superhero name be Flash Storm? We'll put it on the mailbox, I said. He giggled, rolled over. I closed their door, turned off the light. The hallway was quiet, and it had never sounded more like mine.